Good morning, welcome back to Ravenclaw Reads. I'm Courtney and you're joining me for another weekly reading vlog. Today is Monday, January 8th. Excited to be starting the week and everything that I said on Friday's end of the video is now wiped away. So let me get into it. So this weekend I finished 2 books kind of begrudgingly. So I want to talk about this. So originally I started out, and we're only in week 2, right? So like here we are. Started out with my TBR spinner wheel, my how many books I'm going to read, very prescribed. And even after that first week of like seeing what was coming up on the TBR wheel and what was like on my plate, I felt restricted. I am a mood reader, so I don't know what I was thinking, but all of that's going to be scrapped. Like I love the spinner wheel idea when I am low on books or I want to know what's the next thing I could read, just like a surprise element, but maybe not every week. Because like I said before, it just makes me feel so stuck. So I did finish 2 books. I have 3 books done for this month, and I feel like I could probably have more. I did read my 4 books last week, but one was December 31st, the Sunday. So that counts for December. But I didn't like it. Like I did not enjoy reading last week. And so it kind of felt like an assignment. So moving on. So I did finish Not the Witch You Wed by April Asher. I gave this 2 stars. I did not like it. I will put into the space my mindset of like being forced to read this book, but it just never picked up for me. It really dragged. I had to like skim the last part of it just to like find out, like it was like you knew what was going to happen. And that's the trouble I'm having with romances right now, is that they're very they have a very specific format, which sometimes I love. But then you have like people like Lynn Painter who write amazing romances. They don't always follow the same formula. So I don't know. That one was kind of like a miss for me. I don't have much to say about it. I would not recommend it. And this is like the second book I've read from April Asher, and I'm not a fan. So I don't know. And then I read Mallory and the Mystery Diary. I finished that yesterday. I gave that 3 stars. It was just mid. 3 stars is the lowest that I'll give a Babysitters Club book because I am rereading it, so clearly I like it. But it was just mid. Nothing exciting about it. Mallory's hunt for the Mystery Diary I didn't love. The mysteries for me are hit and miss, especially when they're in the story format, not like in a mystery. And they just kind of seemed unrealistic. In this book, Mallory finds a chest or trunk in Stacy's new house, and Stacy's like, yeah, you can have it, which is random. And then they drag it over to Mallory's house because now Stacy's back in Stony Brook, and Stacy lives sort of, her backyard is bunted to Mallory's backyard. So they drag it over to Mallory's house, they bust into it, and they find this old diary. And at the same time, Mallory's exploring how much she loves the diary. So it's just, it wasn't for me. So that's to my point of like reading books that I just didn't want to read at that time. And I love the, what's going on with this piece of hair? I love the Babysitters Club books, otherwise I wouldn't be rereading them. And if I didn't like this one, I probably would have read it anyway or just have pushed it another week, but that's fine. All right, so now what got me on the mood for reading something else was the fact that I was struggling to find a book on Saturday. And I ended up coming across a book that I think I had heard about but had not picked up. And it is called Artifacts of an Ex. This is by Jennifer Chin. I started it on Saturday. Now I'm about 55% into it. I really hope to finish it today during sprints and into the night. I did hop on Sunday sprints yesterday, not as a guest, but just in the audience. And I really liked that. I ended up having a super productive Sunday. I don't know what was in the water yesterday, but me and my husband, we woke up, we got cleaning done. I had to, my oldest had, she was doing like a study group. We dropped her off to that. I ran to Whole Foods, ran to Barnes real quick to pick up a book for my youngest, Reagan. We, like I said, we cleaned, we did all the kids, whatever they needed for school. It was just like so productive, and we had done all of that like prior to 6 o'clock at night. And so that feels like an accomplishment. And so we were really excited about that. But I did get a chance to read a good chunk of this yesterday during sprints too, and at night, and it's such a good book. So this book follows, oh gosh, you guys know me and the names. Hold on. Don't do it. Chloe is the main character, and she is recently transplanted to LA from New York, and Chloe was dating a guy, Jake, in New York, and he's an artist, and this is a YA book, so she's a teen, I think she's like 16, and she is very interested in art, and so she's still like, I don't know how she's doing it, but she helps curate shows, and she had kind of fallen in love with Jake because he is also an artist, he's a knitter, and he does these traveling shows, whatever. And so she moved to LA to be closer to her family. Well, her family moved closer to the grandma. The grandma was getting sick, sounds like early signs of dementia, and there's like a store that they own, or a restaurant they own. No, it's a bakery. Sorry, they own a bakery. And so she's been there like a month, and she starts getting into the art scene, and she comes up one day with a box in the mail from Jake, and she thinks it's like some type of care package, and it is a breakup box, and it's basically like, here's all your things that I have of yours, it's not going to work out. And so she turns that pain into an art exhibit, and it's called like the Artifacts of an Ex. And so she puts out a call for anybody who's broken up with an ex she'll Venmo them $20 and send me your box of like memories, and she displays them. When she displays them, a group of people her age come to take a look at it, and oh gosh, what is his name? Oh my God. The fact that I can never remember names, like I need to get that checked out. Okay, Daniel is one of the people that comes, and he's actually filming the exhibit, and you know, she's trying to keep it as anonymous as possible, and so she tells him like, hey, you can't film, and they have sort of like a little conflict, not a big one. Anyway, long story short, he's also into artistry, but he does film, and so they decide to add an element to this art display of a film, of basically like the trajectory of relationships, starting with being very happy to like when the breakup happens and the post breakup. And so they pretend to be the characters in the film. Obviously they start liking each other, but the problem is that Daniel does like Chloe, and Chloe likes Daniel, obviously, but he refuses to date her because she's recently broken up with Jake, and he is always the rebound guy. So he feels like she's not ready for a relationship. And in truth, she's not. She's still very emotionally attached to Jake. So it's such a cute book. And I'm amazed and always encouraged by the writing that happens in YA books and middle grade books. They're always so inventive. It's a romance, but it's not a traditional romance. And I love that. So 55% into that, looking to read more. And then I decided, since I'm not going with my original plan, I think I will jump into Never Still by Jessa Hastings. Like I said, I've already read a little bit of this, but I still want to read this. And then I decided to bust out, in honor of the new Crescent City coming out at the end of the month, back into Crescent City. I left off on page like 184. Do I remember it? No. So I was looking through a chapter by chapter summary up through chapter 16 is where I'm at. But I also found the audiobook on YouTube. I might just listen to the audiobook because I really liked this and I want that story to come to life for me. So I might just do that as I'm working and listen to that. So excited about that. And then now that I am done with Babysitters Club number 30, I'm on to Super Special number 3, which is Babysitter's Winter Vacation, which I was so excited to get through. And we actually might have some snow this week, so that will line up perfectly. So that is the plan. I feel so good about it, and I think us in the YouTube world and readers, like, we feel like a sigh of relief when we're like, okay, I don't have to do anything extra. I just need to do what I've always done. Like, follow what you've always done. It works for me. And so I'm excited again to read this week. That's it for Monday, and I will check back tomorrow. Hey guys, good morning and happy Tuesday. Hopping on to tell you about what I read yesterday and a cute project that I just started. So yesterday I finished Artifacts of an Ex, pulling this up on my Kindle Fire. I have the Kindle Fire 8, the newest edition in pink, super decorated, super cute. I don't use this as much, but I do actually love it. I think I might put it into the rotation more. But this, side note, this Kindle's battery is really, really good. So if you had a Kindle Fire in the past and you just felt like the battery was no good, this battery is so good. And you could I definitely see this more in the tablet realm, where some of the other ones weren't comparable to tablets because of the battery life and whatever. So This is Artifact of an Ex. This is by Jennifer Chin. This is a YA novel. I kind of talked about it a lot yesterday, but just to recap, we have Chloe, who recently moved to LA to help take care of her grandmother. She's about 16. She's with her mom and dad. They own a bakery. The family owns a bakery. And when she leaves, she gets a box from her boyfriend Jake, who lives in New York, who is breaking up with her and sending her sort of all of the memories they have. And so she decides in heartbreak that she's going to create an art exhibit because she's artsy, art curatory, not necessarily an artist. But she decides to curate artifacts of an ex, and she collects boxes from people, other memory boxes from people from breakups. During that journey, she meets Daniel. It's also her age, but is into film, and he suggests a film component coming with her her show, and it kind of spins off from there. She really likes Daniel. Daniel likes her, but Daniel refuses to be a rebound guy because she's clearly still caught up on her ex, Jake. And so the story kind of goes through Chloe getting over Jake, her kind of falling for his stuff, which at the end it kind of got a little annoying because he's like really annoying. It does end happily ever after. So I do highly suggest this book. Very sweet book. I think there's like 1 or 2 kisses, but nothing inappropriate. I would recommend this to my 15-year-old. Very well written, fast paced. Loved it. I gave it 4 stars. So today I'm hoping to pick up Never, which is the Peter Pan retelling. Let's see, I've got all my stuff stacked. Okay, so I have the print copy of it, but I also have it on Kindle. And so I'm going to switch off between these, try to get this done. This one's not that long. Okay, it's 373 pages, so it's almost 400 pages. It is longer than I thought, but I want to try to read this and the Babysitters Club Super Special 3, which is Babysitter's Winter Vacation, kind of get that going in the background. And then I still need to start listening to Crescent City. I haven't started that yet. So those are my reading plans. But one of the things I talked about at the beginning of the year was like how I wanted to track my books. And so I still am doing the digital tracking, which I downloaded a new tracker, which is way simplified. But it just like shows the cover of the book and whatever. So then I also got a journal because I've been seeing some people doing book journals. And so just to show you, and I unboxed this on Thursday. I just got it from Amazon. Pink's my color, so I picked a pink, added a sticker that says so booked, and thought about how I wanted to track things. So one thing I'm tracking is like my daily mood, and this was a journey because I thought I'd gotten a bullet journal, but it's lined. So there's that. But then also like I'm not artsy at all. Like this was painstaking. This is for every day of the month, and it only got to 25. So I figured once I get to the 25th of the month, then I will worry about adding other pages on the backside of this. But I also wanted to figure out something to do with like my book covers. And so I had seen lots of people on TikTok using an Ivy printer, and they get the sticker paper and they print out like 4 and they just kind of like grid them and rate them, just sort of like how I do in my digital journal, which is just like collecting the books. But then I realized that, so I was gonna buy that, but then I realized I had bought my daughter one of these mini printers a couple years ago for Christmas, and it's an Instax Mini Link printer. And I think now they have a Mini Link 2, but this is an older one, and it fills with mini Polaroid paper. So what I did, it just connects to your phone, you get an app, and you can print off any picture. So what I started doing yesterday was printing out the pictures of the books that I've read. So yesterday I started. So the first book is Didn't See That Coming. I have, that's number 1 of the books that I've read, the dates that I read it between the first and the second. And then I've seen these flat lays on Instagram where you just kind of like pull out information about the book. So in this book, I put BIPOC representation, bullies, social justice issues, friends to dating, YA, gamer. And I gave it 4 stars. And then on the bottom, I just put social commentary, YA romance, discussing the different standards boys and girls are held to in life and in school. And just a little decorative. I'm not, I'll say it again, I'm not artsy. I don't play an artsy person on TV. I don't claim to be artsy. And I am letting go of perfection in this. Like, I'm going to use different colors different days. I'm going to use the same color 2 or 3 days in a row. It's fine. It doesn't need to be neat and perfect. It's just a collection of the books that I've read. So then the second book I've read this year was Not the Witch You Read. And then I added See Rejection as a Redirection as the sticker. And not every page will have a sticker, but put handsome wolf shifter Lincoln gets a second chance with non-witch Violet when both must marry ASAP as my quick little summary. It's the second book. I read it January 3rd to January 6th. I gave it 2 stars. And I listed it as witchy romance, wolf shifter, surprise magic, enemies to lovers, second chance romance, and fake dating. And then the third book I read this year is Babysitter's Club, Mallory and the Mystery Diary. And I chose a different lay for the picture. And I was like, I don't know how I like this one, so I just tried it. But I put third book read, January 7th through January 7th, 3 stars, Mallory finds a Mystery Diary and Stacey's new house. And then I was like, I can't really, since I didn't put it in the center, I didn't really think I could like flat lay it like this. So what I did is I just took the character, Mallory, and put some of her characteristics. So practical, writer, klutzy, level-headed. So, and I think that will evolve over time. So today I will add Artifacts of an Ex as one of the books and put a little flat lay. And that's kind of how I'm tracking it in like an off digital way. So just wanted to show you guys that. Comment down below what you think about that. And if you have a way that you track them in a journal or something. Anyway, that's it for Tuesday. There were not sprints last night. Unfortunately, Lee over at Dark Roots Creations, she does those sprints on Monday. She wasn't feeling well. So I didn't read until I got into bed. And since Artifacts of an Ex was pretty fast paced, I just was able to get through it before I went to sleep, which is great. Anyway, that's it for Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hey, guys. Happy Wednesday. Almost said Thursday. We've been staying at the house. It feels like Thursday today. But happy Wednesday. Just popping on to tell you what I've read. I haven't read too much. Last night, I was reading a little bit more of Never, and then I was browsing on Kindle Unlimited just to see what was out there. And the book I was telling you guys I got from the library, Cultish, is on Kindle Unlimited. So I downloaded that. I'm about 10% in. It is so good. I'm like highlighting so much already. And this book is all about the cultural phenomenon of cults. And right now we're just like the precursory sort of conversations around what is a cult, what constitutes a cult. Thinking about like Lululemon and Orange Theory or things like that. And so we're going to deep dive into different cults and the language they use. So this is really good. So I read that at the library today. I was at the library for a little bit. And I read this for about 20 minutes. So it's a really quick read. I'm excited to read some more tonight. And then while I was at the library, I picked up another book. Just happened to be calling me as I'm on my in my nonfiction era. But this was calling out to me. This is The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl by Issa Rae. I love Issa Rae. I loved the show Insecure. I think she's phenomenal, and I wanted to read this. It looks like it's just a quick, funny, awkward story of things that have happened in her life. It's only about 200 pages, so I'm excited to read that. And then finally today, my Book of the Month Club came in. I didn't love the selections for this month, honestly, and I wanted to get the second book in Divine Rivals, but I didn't, so I might get it next time. But I was like, I'm not even close to reading that book yet, so I didn't want to just have it sitting. But I did pick up a book, just like I love the book mail, to be honest. Even if I'm not loving the books of the month, I want the package. And you never know. But I picked a thriller because generally when they don't have a romance that I like or like a literary fiction that I like, I go for the thriller. And so this time I picked First Lie Wins. This is by Ashley Elston. This one says, the identity comes first, Evie Porter. Once she's given a name and location by her mysterious boss, Mr. Smith, she learns everything there is to know about the town and the people in it. Then the mark, Ryan Summer. The last piece of the puzzle is the job. Evie isn't privy to Mr. Smith's real identity, but she knows this job isn't like the others. Ryan has gotten under her skin, and she's starting to envision a different sort of life for herself. But Evie can't make any mistakes, especially after what happened the last time. Evie Porter must stay one step ahead of her past while making sure there's still a future in front of her. The stakes couldn't be higher, but then Evie has always liked a challenge. So, kind of a generic overview. Like I said, I just picked one that I could tolerate, and we will put it on the collection and see when I get to it. So, that is the update for Wednesday. Pretty short today, but hopefully I can get some more read tonight and be able to share more about Cultish tomorrow. All right, until tomorrow, see ya. Hey guys, happy Sunday and welcome to the last day of my reading vlog. This week has completely gotten away from me. So I think the last day I posted or shared was on Wednesday. And so just in my personal life, I recently got a job promotion, so yay me. But that means a lot more brain power and training days and things like that. And so it was a little bit hectic this week, just readjusting to that. And I was a little bit tired this week. Last night, I usually do my editing on Saturday nights if I don't get it done by Friday. And last night I wasn't feeling very well. I'm on a non-dairy journey, so tell me if you do that, or I found that dairy makes me very bloated and just doesn't make my stomach feel great. And I'd always been lactose intolerant, but just pushed through. And so I just stopped pushing through, and it's done wonders. But yesterday we went to the movies. I went and saw the new Mean Girls movie with my oldest, and I had some popcorn. I had nachos too, but I really think the popcorn butter it sat on the top of my stomach all night. And we went there about 11. We saw the 11:30 show. So by 4 p.m. I was like in excruciating pain. I wasn't sure if I was gonna throw up or what. It wasn't good. So I didn't have energy to do anything, including read. So that's a very long, drawn out explanation, but that's kind of where I've been. I will say, to the Mean Girls movie, if you are about my age, I'm 40. Mean Girls came out in 2004. I didn't really watch it much until I was actually older, and I think it's an iconic movie. I think it's great. And this new one, I liked it for what it was. If you're gonna go see it, it's not an equivalent to the original at all. It's definitely a musical, which I kind of knew but didn't really know. And it is, yeah, it takes a lot of the parts from the original movie, but I wanted more acting, and I like musicals, but it was just like a lot of songs. And the actors in there were so good that I wish I had seen more acting. So that's my synopsis that nobody asked for on Mean Girls. Okay, so let's talk about what I've read. If you didn't see earlier, well, I think I already showed it in this vlog, but my reading journal, which I need to update because the last thing I added on here was Artifacts of an Ex. And in this one, I don't know that I shared. This one I read 1/6 through 1/8. I gave it 4 stars. I said BIPOC representation, body positivity, artsy, New York to LA, slow burn. And I said Chloe gets dumped by her boyfriend in New York, moves to LA, and opens an exhibit for scorned exes. Chloe meets Daniel, who doesn't want to be a rebound, but Chloe and Daniel are destined to be together. So I like actually doing these little synopsis summaries for myself to read, because last year I feel like I was blowing through books so quickly and I would literally forget what I had read. And so I like that this is just a reminder. So if I want to come back to anything, I can. I do need to add the other book that I finished this week, which again wasn't much. I find that I'm having a hard time picking out the next book or like staying consistent with one, because I feel like I've read so much in the past 2 years that nothing is like hitting, or I've already read it. And so I really have to like get out of my comfort zone a bit and start reading some other things. I just don't know what those other things are yet. And so I need to figure that out. I was at the bookstore. I did not get any footage today, but there was nothing that I hadn't read or nothing that I wanted to read. So I'm having a bit of a time. But I did, and I'll show this next. The next book that I picked that I'm reading is something that's been on my bookshelf for a while, so trying to do that. But what I did finish this week was Super Special number 3 by Babysitter's Club. This is Babysitter's Winter Vacation. I ended up giving this 4 stars. Let me think. I thought it was pretty good, but just a little bit unrealistic. So in this book, the girls are all going on a trip to Vermont for a week with their school, which also seems, I mean, I feel like it was more done in the 80s. This is written in 1989, but just a little outlandish. So they're going to this lodge. Several different schools are going to the lodge, and there's a bad storm on the way to the lodge. The girls' buses don't have any issue, but one of the buses that are carrying kids kind of spins off the road. And so the kids are kind of stuck on the bus, and the Babysitters Club, well, Christy volunteers the club members to go get the kids. And the adults say it's okay. So they go get kids and they entertain them in the weather, which I thought was really unrealistic. And then in this book, they have also like some winter games that they've put together. And it just seemed like odd that the Babysitters Club were the only people like organizing the games, that the adults weren't really into it. Christy was doing too much per usual, trying to get everything organized. Marianne and Logan were separated because Logan was in Aruba with his family for vacation. So she was really upset about all of that. So it was all right. I gave it a 4 because super specials are always more entertaining to me when there's like several different perspectives, but I also thought it was highly unrealistic. So there's that. So then I was like on the hunt for what I was gonna read, and there was a couple of days like I just didn't read anything, or I picked up something and then stopped. But I finally landed on reading The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. And I have had this on my bookshelf since my birthday haul in September and just decided I would read it. It kind of was speaking magical to me, and so I just like, let me just try it. So basically in this book, there is 6 spots for this, or I guess there's 1 spot for this this magical school. They recruited 6 people to sort of compete against each other. And so I'm just at the very beginning where we're meeting all of the players and what their magic abilities are. And now they're about to come together and figure out what their task is. I started this, got about 30 pages in, and then switched to Kindle, which I really am finding now more than ever that I really want to just read on the Kindle and not a physical book. Just like carrying it around the house, but also like this font is bananas. Like, let's not do this, guys. This font is not great for anybody's eyes. Ooh, oh, I'm so excited. Okay, I don't want to get any sneak peeks, but this font is not great for anybody's eyes. And I went to the bookstore and I saw book 2 and 3 and the font's the same, so I'll just get it on Kindle. But I really like how this is starting, but it's a little bit longer and obviously a little bit more involved. So I feel like there will be quite a bit of, oh, it's not that bad. Let me see. It is 300, because they've got some extras in the back. 370 pages, so not that bad. But I know it's gonna take me a little bit of a time to read that. So luckily we're off tomorrow for MLK Junior Day, and I have time to update like my reading journal on my iPad and get this video out for you guys, figure out what I want to do for my Thursday videos. I didn't do a Thursday video last week. Again, I got too busy, but I think I want to do just like the updated e-reader video for you guys, just so you have an idea what that is. But yeah, so that is it for this week. Next week I will do better to get more footage for you guys, but I hope you enjoy what I have so far, and tell me what you're reading this month. Like, I'm waiting for some new releases in February. And so I'm waiting for those to drop, but what are you guys reading this month? I see a lot of people on YouTube kind of reading what they own or hitting their bookshelves, or their Kindle libraries to just like get through the month. So tell me what you're doing down below. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.